Shalom, this is Rabbi Jeremy Lawrence. Our parsha this week is Parshat Shlach, the telling of that fateful episode when Moses sent the 12 spies into the land of Israel. They were princes of their tribes, charged to check out if the land was as good and as bounteous as God had promised. Was it fat or lean? Where did the people live? What were their defences? The 12 toured the land and returned laden with beautiful fruit. They had factual answers to all of Moses' questions, but of the 12, 10 of them were adamant that the conquest of the land would be impossible. Only Joshua and Caleb were confident that God, who had brought them thus far, would sustain them further. The 10 slanderous spies embellished their tale. "We saw giants in the land," they related. "We were in our own eyes as grasshoppers, and so were we in their eyes." It is a telling and graphic image. Moses had imagined that their safe return and the confirmation that the land was flowing with milk and honey would raise the spirits of the children of Israel. But he hadn't anticipated grasshoppers. "We were in our own eyes as grasshoppers, and so were we in their eyes." This is emotional propaganda, an appeal to fear. Moses had banked on the facts, but the 10 coloured the plain facts with emotion. The late 15th century commentator Ovadios Forno notes the impact of the be'enenu, our eyes, be'enehem, their eyes, comparison. In our eyes we were grasshoppers. We saw ourselves as inferior, worthless, and unable to measure up to them. We lacked confidence. And what of their eyes? In their eyes we were grasshoppers. We were so insignificant that they didn't even bother with the dozen of us. But perhaps it would be that an invading swarm would be squashed like insects. At first blush, the spies' account seems so difficult to fathom. They had witnessed a year of miracles in Egypt and the wilderness. They had heard God and been fed on manna. Why did they imagine that God would abandon them now? But it suggested that separation from God was precisely their fear. God had promised to bring them out of Egypt and sustain them and bring them to the land. Now they were about to enter the chapters of personal responsibility in the Torah. Just consider what God had said. When you come to the land, you will do this. When you come to the land, you will do that. The miraculous nurturing by God and Moses they were used to would be supplanted by the need to stand on their own feet, and they were frightened of the challenge.
Oh, no.
There is another explanation too. In the wilderness, our princes were princes simply by virtue of their lineage. They could bask in their seniority while there was nothing they had to actually do. However, when they came into the land, upon them would fall the management of the people. They would be charged with personal responsibility and accountability, and with them every Israelite. It's easy to be a prince in the wilderness, because nobody has any expectations. But when they came into the land, they knew that they would be nobodies unless they measured up. It wasn't so easy. Lacking confidence and resolve, they knew that they were shirkers, grasshoppers in their own eyes, and it wouldn't be long till they were unmasked as mere grasshoppers in the eyes of everyone else. Of course, modesty is a virtue, and it's important that we have a realistic self-image. May God always raise us up as we rise to his challenges. May we enjoy leaders who are not grasshoppers in their own sight, nor in the eyes of others. Rather, may we be blessed with leaders who are men of stature, who look through the eyes of God. This is Rabbi Jeremy Lawrence wishing you and all your families a Shabbat Shalom.